I'm hearing that you're being a loser and you're not having any friends, but that's okay. I was being losing before too, but now I'm knowing how to make all the friends, and I'm gonna be in teaching you too. First thing you wanna be and do is saying, oh hey, and smile, oh hey. And if you're feeling extra night, you can even be in wing. Nuts, you wanna be and share something about yourself. Yeah, my new friend, I'm one time being having chlamydia, but I'm not having anymore. But the most important thing is to be in shake your milk and making all the boy come to the yard. This message was being brought to you guys by Motivation.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm your host, Biddy, and I'm here with Dee. What's up, Dee?
Hi, it's nice to be back.
I know. I really appreciated the time off, to have with like family and reset and like chill or whatever. But I missed you guys so much. And like, I'm so happy to be back and with all of you and seeing you all in the chat. You guys are freaking awesome, bro. Like I can't stop smiling just seeing you guys all popping up, showing up. We already got a super chat from Funkmaster General and he gifted some memberships. Thank you so much. You guys are just amazing. Like I just seeing you guys out there is just amazing. So welcome back. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that. Like, I hope you guys enjoyed it and you had the time of your lives. And yeah, it's not a slow news day, as Doug was saying in the chat. Is it a slow? No, it's absolutely not. We got a ton to talk about, and I know you guys have heard it. Just so you know, of course, you can always follow the show at @TheRealRoma_AK. You can follow me on X if you like, Elizabeth213A. Dee, what's your @Cynical Latina? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cynical Latina on X, and I'm also on Truth Social, but I really don't go on there as much. But yeah, you can find me on there.
I am on there too, and I actually don't go on there either unless I need to like grab a screenshot of one of Donald Trump's posts.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't really go on there either. But yeah, and I started making like sourdough bread. Like I was doing like all of this stuff on the vacation. I was just like trying to fill the time. But we're back and we're ready to go. So let's get to it.
Yes.
Let's see. What do we got first? Oh, yeah. The capture, coming to you from The Guardian. Why has the U.S. captured Venezuela's president and what happens next? I love the question. It's so great. The U.S. carried out airstrikes across Venezuela overnight on Friday with explosions rocking the capital, Caracas, before dawn. Shortly afterwards, Donald Trump announced that U.S. forces had captured the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, and flown them out of the country, which was not an easy task, by the way. He was like in the middle of a military base at the top, like some penthouse top of the building. Like, so it was some crazy stuff that they did. Like, The U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said they would face trial in New York on charges of involvement in narco-terrorism. A fresh indictment was issued on Saturday. Trump later posted a picture on his Truth Social platform with the caption, Nicolas Maduro on board the USS Iwo Jima. Late on Saturday, the White House posted a video on social media that appeared to show Maduro handcuffed and escorted by agents at the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration offices. And there's a little screenshot of dude.
He did say, "Come get me."
He did. And he growled and everything. He was trying to act tough.
Yes,
so
he did.
I've seen so many funny videos, but I think the funniest one was Looney Tunes with like Bugs Bunny. When he would like fight with that big I don't know, it's like a bear or something.
Like a Sasquatch kind of thing.
Yeah, and they're on both, like one is on like a cliff and the other one's on a cliff, and Bugs Bunny's like, you know, whatever. And the bear just like pulls him over with a string and is just like staring at him like, what? And it's like, then it's
yeah. I've seen that one.
Seen that one? Bro. The attack and unprecedented capture of sitting president follow months of the intense U.S. pressure campaign against Venezuela. The U.S. Navy has amassed a huge fleet off the Venezuelan coast in September, carried out airstrikes against alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific, and seized Venezuelan oil tankers. At least 110 people have been killed in the strikes on boats, which human rights groups say could amount to war crimes. Okay. The attack was the largest, most direct U.S. action in Latin America since the 1989 Panama invasion. The lightning operation stunned the international community. U.S. allies and adversaries alike were taken back by the brazen interference in a foreign country. At a Mar-a-Lago news conference, Trump said the U.S. would run the country until a leadership transition could take place, and that U.S. oil companies would go into Venezuela bragging that no nation in the world could achieve what America achieved. Ain't that the damn truth, though?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, bro. I mean, it's crazy, too, because, like, the people that came out, like, China, Cuba, and they're like, oh, this is crazy what he just did or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know, communist dictators upset about all of this.
Well, he had just met with all of them.
Is that a history you want to be on?
Yeah, right. No, he had just met with all of them too, and they were like securing their or fortifying their pact or whatever, and then swoop, here comes Donald Trump. Like, I don't know, it's just pretty funny. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I love seeing that. I'm really happy for the Venezuelan people. I think they deserve to have freedom, and I think that they deserve to be able to finally live in peace and actually have their country prosper again.
Libertad. Right? Is that how you say it?
Libertad? Yeah, libertad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
I was like, if I had like a weird face on just a second ago, it's because my internet kind of was like being weird, and I was like, no, don't do this to me. But then I was back, so I'm like, I hope I didn't have like a face like. So if that happened, that was going on. But yeah, you know, I went on, there was this girl, and I'm so stupid, I should have gotten her name, but she like broke it down like really hard body. So let me just say a few things, because it debunks a lot of the stuff that the leftist protesters, the left-wing media, the United Nations, like all these people that are trying to talk, like say all this stuff. So, okay, Venezuela has got the largest oil reserves in the world, even bigger than Saudi Arabia. Like they're the top. It was the United States that helped Venezuela build the oil infrastructure back in the early 1900s after it was discovered. The oil in Venezuela is very different than the supply in Saudi Arabia. It's dense, dirty. It's much harder to refine. So that's like the caveat about the oil reserves that they have. In the 1970s, Venezuela was producing millions of barrels of oil per day. Much of it was going to U.S. refineries. And with our help, they became the richest Latin American country and stayed that way for years. So it's like, what happened, right? So in 1998, Hugo Chavez becomes president, and he is spending money like crazy. And what is he spending on? Socialist programs, free housing, free healthcare, free education. And that was all coming from the oil export money. However, he didn't spend any money on the oil facilities to like keep them up, and they began to slowly deteriorate. So in the 2000s, Chavez forces foreign countries to renegotiate their contracts because he's running out of money, right, for all these programs. And some of them were like so mad they left the country. They take Venezuela to international courts and they win. Venezuela was ordered to pay Exxon and ConocoPhillips $11 billion, with much of it still not paid even to this day. So due to mismanagement, their infrastructure is collapsing. The country can only produce a small fraction of what it used to. And much of that production is being handled by who? China. Okay. China. Then in 2013, Chavez develops cancer. And then he handpicks Maduro to become president. And the economy starts collapsing even faster in 2014. Inflation goes through the roof. Their dollar becomes worthless. People couldn't afford soap, food, medicine. There was a food and medicine shortage. Hyperinflation plagued the country. In the years of 2015 to 2016, reports say the average that a Venezuelan lost in weight was around 19 pounds. That there was like famine going on.
Yeah.
This was all before the sanctions that the U.S. put on them in 2019, which a lot of people are like about sanctions, and that's the reason why they're so poor. Then also Maduro denied aid from the U.S. He even directed his military to not accept aid from the United States. Okay, fine. This is why the majority of Venezuelans are happy that Maduro has been taken out, because he basically put the nail in the coffin that was like already a deteriorating country. President Trump said he would spend billions of dollars rebuilding their infrastructure so Venezuela can start making money and can start paying the United States back. And there's like major push to strengthen South America, and in my opinion, to create allies for the U.S. Because as you can see, like El Salvador, Argentina, like we're chilling with Argentina, El Salvador, like all of these people, I mean, I don't know if this really means anything, but the soccer player dude from Brazil, he's like the face of Brazil, you know, all of that. It kind of seems like he's trying to strengthen the Western Hemisphere and push out China, Iran, Russia, all these that are trying to set up camp here and be able to like get close to us, to infiltrate us. Like they need to weaken us. So that's what they've been doing for years and years and years. So that way that when they strike, we can't defend ourselves.
Well, I think it's also fortifying our currency, right? Because these are all like the BRICS nations. And if we can get a handle on that, because they were kind of posing a threat there for a minute, with when Biden was in charge, you know, China and Iran and all those Middle Eastern countries were starting to really get a lot of power. And, you know, we kind of took that away from them when Trump got into office. So 100%, I'm really, really, really happy that, you know, we didn't just fortify our economy, our US dollar, we fortified the strength of our government and showed it to the world where, you know, during the Biden administration, we were the ass of everything. Like we were the clowns of, like, there was no strength coming from our country. And now we don't just have a strong country, we have a strong dollar to back that up. And so hopefully, you know, this keeps kind of going, like this keeps going and the ball keeps rolling in this direction where it's not just talk anymore. Trump is actually doing, and to sweep up a dictator in the middle of the night, nobody expected that. Like I saw the tweets that there was like bombs going off in Venezuela, and I was like, oh crap, what's going on? I thought it was unrest from the people, like a protest kind of deal, you know. And then in the morning when I woke up and I saw that like they had taken Maduro, I didn't believe it. I was like, wait, what? And then when I started seeing more of the reporting coming in, I was like, holy crap.
Right.
Like, damn, our president has some balls. That's exactly what I voted for. Thank you. Like,
yes.
The world is thanking you. So yeah, as much as liberals don't want to admit it, dude, this was really, really awesome. And a show of strength and force to every other country out there that thinks that they're going to actually get away with FAing with our country, because they're going to FO real quick.
That's right. Well said. Yes. Well said. Oh man, so Doug asked in the chat, he said, who's next? I don't know. Cuba?
Hey, the president of Colombia put out a statement saying, come get me too. So he might get a taste of that foe.
Like, I don't want to get too excited because the people out there that want us to fail, there's a lot of nations out there, there's a lot of people making money that want us to fail. So I don't want also to fall into any traps either.
Yeah.
So like if any of these, I mean, listen, I'm sure they know way more than me. I'm sure they're even thinking about stuff like this before I do, but it's just kind of like an idea that I started thinking about, like, what if they, God forbid, are just like, all right, so you're going to say this and you're going to egg him on and hopefully appeal to the ego that they all try to, always bring down Trump about. And then let him come and get you, and then we'll be there to help you out and then do something to the military or something, like kind of like, like a trick. So, but I'm sure that the stuff that they think about, and they're very strategic in the way that they do things. But yeah, Rick said he did that in about a half an hour as well. Yeah. It was precision, like, bro. I think somebody explained it, and I wish I can explain it as well, because I listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, I got it. And now it's like it just totally left my head. But it was just something like kind of like a bait and switch with like them paying attention to like the ships in the water and something while they were bringing helicopters up. Listen, I sound like an idiot, but they were doing a lot of really sick move arounds in order to get to where they got, because again, he's the middle of a military base, I mean, even though it's a small spot, you got to be careful. And there were no American lives lost. There's no soldiers' lives lost. They did it very, very quickly and swoop, and gone in the middle of the night, which was freaking brilliant too. Like you said, like I think I woke up at like 5:30 a.m., just woke out of my sleep. And then, of course, I went to my phone just to kind of like play around because I couldn't go back to bed. And I seen it, and I'm just like, no way. And then I couldn't go back to sleep. I woke my husband up. I'm like, bro, we just captured the president of Venezuela. And he's like, what? And then he went back to sleep. And I'm just like, I can't go back to sleep now. Now I'm up.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's funny, like, the United Nations, they're trying to talk stuff. And I'm just like, oh, so you got beef? Because then we could just take all of our funding away from you guys. Don't we fund them like 85%?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm. So they don't want it either. But I seen Michael Waltz, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and he basically just mimicked what Secretary Marco Rubio said, like no more games with Russia, China, Iran playing in our backyard in our Western Hemisphere. Like no more. That's it. Like we're locking this whole area down. You're not going to be coming up from behind us or coming up front. Like, and this is another thing where I'm thinking like Canada might be in the mix too, because remember, I think it was like a year or two ago where we were getting reports that they were sending like Chinese soldiers to Canada to train. So if you think they were trying to like close us in, they were building all this support below us and then possibly building support above us. And then we're just kind of caught in the middle. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces behind the scene, and it's not just us being the world police, because it's way bigger than that. Like it's basically like what I was just saying, plus, making money for us, for Venezuela. And if you strengthen these countries, because that used to be like the idea is like strengthen these countries so that way they don't have to flee their nations and come here, but a lot of corrupt politicians took that idea and used it for their own ends. Exactly. Regime change into people that will, give them kickbacks or, any kind of other thing. But it should be that like we're trying to help them. It's like the old what is it? Like one of those quotes where like if you give somebody a fish, they'll eat for a day, but if you teach them to fish, they can eat for their lives. Right. Yeah. So it's like that, like if we can strengthen these nations, they have no reason to rush, because a lot of these people, they're coming here, they're getting like free stuff, but a lot of people, like, would you want to like up and leave your country right now and go to some random country you don't speak their language, whatever? Like even if they give you free, I don't care if you give me all this free stuff, I'm not going anywhere. Like I want to stay here. So can you imagine you got to like leave your culture, your country, your language, your food, everything that you've grown up with, your family, your friends? They would much rather stay where they are and they're used as pawns to get votes for. Oh, please, bro, I can't even. Like, I could talk about this for hours and hours. It's just so sickening to think that we've used our powers, like a lot of these corrupt politicians use the powers that we have that we can use for good to just cripple all these different areas, so that they can benefit, and then we get screwed, they get screwed.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that's one of the biggest gripes that I have with Mexico. And like the Mexican president like running her mouth, because like you need to focus on your country and fix what's wrong with your country so that millions of your citizens don't want to leave. Like you said, they're going to a different country where they don't know the language, and even if they offer them all this free stuff, they're so desperate to get out of Mexico because of the corruption that's there, that they're willing to completely leave and possibly face death, like crossing the desert to get to like California, or crossing the border. It's not easy terrain to one navigate or like cross through.
Right.
There's so many dangers and perils, and there's so many opportunities for something bad to happen to them, for them to die. And that's not even counting the danger from the coyotes themselves that are going to kill people. They're going to assault women, and then they abandon so many children at the border that they wander the desert and die. So I mean, if yeah, I could go on for a long time about her too, because I just think that she's corrupt and paid for, installed by the cartels over there. But what are you going to do? Yeah, strengthen countries, give them certain aid, but don't start just throwing money at them.
No, agreed. And just the last note, remember, the czar of the border, former Vice President Kamala Harris, when she said, "Oh, I'm looking at the root of the problem of mass migration." Well, you know what? You didn't do anything about it. Neither of you did. You kept saying things. You didn't do anything about it. Trump just did it.
Yep.
That's the root of the mass migrations. That's one of them. So,
yep.
All right. So let's move on to the next big craziness, bro. Like, I can't. I couldn't wait to get out today. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a 3-hour show. Sorry, Brian. But yeah. Are you able to read, love, or you have your screen up, or would you like to do it?
Hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
I know you guys out there have heard about this story, because this, especially all you ex-lovers and our boy Nick Shirley, 23 years old, dude's just crushing it out there as an independent journalist. Like, wow.
Okay, it's not letting me click on any of the links. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, here we go. Okay, cool.
You got it?
So I got it up. So from NBC News, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he is dropping re-election bid. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
So Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said in a statement Monday that he is ending his re-election bid and will not seek a third term. Walz, the 2024 Democratic vice president nominee, cited heightened attention on fraud allegations in Minnesota, adding that the political gamemanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder to win. Oh, gee. But as I reflected on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all, he said. Every minute I spend defending my own political interests would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who prey on our differences. What a dipshit. I'm sorry.
Somebody give a cookie to the person who wrote that piece of garbage.
Yes. Yes. So I've decided to step out of the race and let others worry about the election while I focus on the work, Walz said. The surprise announcement, coming just months after Walz had confirmed he planned to run again, sends a political shockwave through the state and creates a key vacancy at the top of its government. Walz faced no serious primary threat and had been on the favorite to win re-election later this year. Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota is seriously considering a run for governor after Walz's announcement. A source close to the senator told NBC News The source said Klobuchar is receiving outreach from people encouraging her to run, but that she has not made a decision. Klobuchar would not be up for re-election until 2030 if she stayed in the Senate. Let's see. In a lengthy statement from his office on Monday morning, Walz grounds the decision on his belief that he needs to give full attention to the fraud allegations in the state, arguing that while everyone should be concerned about fraud in our state government, Republican opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score a few cheap points. I mean, I guess let's
whatever you say.
Sure. Late last month, a video from right-wing influencer Nick Shirley went viral alleging fraud at child care facilities in Minnesota. After that video went viral, the Department of Health and Human Services announced it would freeze all federal child care payments to the state. Days later, Minnesota's Department of Children, Youth, and Families said that investigators found the child care facilities in question are operating as expected.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're going to say that.
They investigated and found no fraud.
Who would have thought, So yeah, dozens of suspects were indicted in 2022 during the Biden administration as part of an alleged $250 million fraud scheme with the nonprofit Feeding Our Future. A state audit report released in 2024 found that failures by the state's education department led to the misuse of the COVID-era program. Some of the criminal cases related to the alleged scheme are ongoing, and several of the defendants are of Somali descent. Whoa!
Right.
I mean, it's surprisingly that they put that in there. I mean, that's racist. Come on now.
I know. How dare you, NBC News?
Yeah.
Should cancel themselves for that one.
I find it really funny that they're still trying to say that it's alleged and it's just a tax, and trying to smear Nick Shirley so that he sounds less reliable. But I think the videos, and I think that's why they went viral, they're pretty self-explanatory. You see it, you understand exactly what's going on. You can't go to a daycare that the lobby would be open. How are parents getting in and out? Parents that even just want to come in and check out their kid or whatever, and they can't even get in the building. And there's maybe one person, and they say there's no kids in there, and the place is running till 10. It's just it's clear indication that something is seriously wrong. And they're not just allegations. It's the scandal. I mean, so many scandals are popping up, and they're in trouble, and they know they are. So they're trying to make it seem like it's not such a big deal. And it's, just allegedly, things are running as expected. They can run as expected all you want. I mean, they open and they close. That's expected. The fact that they're using money that is supposed to be for, I don't remember a time where I was ever offered free childcare for going to work, even in any kind of government program. Why is it that Somalis are taking up such a huge percentage of this daycare? Why are they getting daycare? They don't even let their women go to work. They don't let their women work because they're Muslim. The women are at home taking care of the children while the men are supposedly working. But
they're getting paid to stay home to take care of their kids. They're probably bringing these kids into these daycares and just filling with them there.
Yeah, I mean they're double. They're not just double dipping. I feel like they're like triple dipping because they're what is it? Polygamous, where they have multiple wives. They're legally married to one, right? But they've got he's got like 4 extra wives at home. Maybe the 4 extra wives they have a little day job, but they're all on Medicaid and food stamps. So they're getting all these government benefits. Then they're getting paid to take their kids to childcare so that they could still be home and collect benefits. And then they're in turn maybe saying that they're sending their kids there so that these Somali centers have a child like in their logs, but they're not actually taking their kids there. I mean, it's like this big, huge cluster of fraud per family, where
Hmm.
each family is receiving so much from the government, where American citizens aren't seeing any of those benefits. Shoot, veterans aren't seeing nearly a fraction of any of those benefits. Why should these foreigners that don't even speak English, are not here
Hmm.
legally, allowed to have these benefits when we don't? So I think all of that needs to end. I think all NGOs just need to be defunded. Like anything, any government program, you need to show proof that someone is receiving these funds, that someone is a beneficiary, a child, the picture, complete records of when they should get off of these benefits as well, so
Yep.
that there's a better way to track this. And there's ways to track it. I mean, shoot, the IRS was about to track $600 of payments that we were going to get on Venmo and Cash App. Why can't they track this other stuff? It's because
They
they
don't
don't
want
want. They're
to.
all in on it. They're all in on
Exactly.
it. So
Exactly. And then every time we expect, like, people in Congress, and you have like all these rhinos like following suit, it's like, oh, you guys are getting paid too, aren't you? Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, so there was a couple of, so Somalians, they operate like hundreds upon hundreds of fraudulent companies. It's not just
yeah,
daycares. It's so many
no,
different things. They're set up in order to funnel the billions of dollars allegedly out of the state of Minnesota. According to sources talking to Nick Shirley on his podcast, which basically just said the guy's name is Dave, but that was like the older man that he was walking around with. Just in
yeah,
one instance, in Cedar Riverside, there's a huge resident building, stories high, that used to be 100% filled with students that were going to like the University of Minnesota. It was like the area. It was like the place to be if you were a college student. There was like the student housing, big building there, and like all this spot. Now it's completely 100% filled with Somalians. They don't pay rent. They don't pay for food. They don't pay for vehicles. On top of that, they are all linked to fraud companies, like hundreds of children. This is what he's saying: hundreds of children, child care facilities. He said for 7 years or so, he has visited these daycares and never saw any children to speak of that he can point out and say, okay, whatever. But it's not just the child care, like I was saying, it's adult care. There's in-home health care, which I've talked about that before. There's CDPAP programs is going on in New York as well, which they're like the family members, the children, the grandchildren, the friend, the neighbor, whatever. They have the older person that's on Medicaid and Medicare and getting all these benefits, and then they get put on as their home health aide. They're not even like accredited. They're not, nurses or anything like that. So they're basically just chilling with them all day long, and they're getting paid for it. Um, Non-emergency medical transportation. Now that's another huge thing that they're looking into.
yep,
There's things like, okay, you have transportation services set up for people who are like, they have to be transported in stretchers. They have to be transported in wheelchairs. But I'm talking about non-medical emergency ones, like they go to their primary care doctor for their annual physical, they go to get their eyes checked, they go to the dentist for their cleaning, and it's all on the taxpayer dollar to and from their home. So that's another thing. And then if you have these companies, right, like you have all these Somali-owned fraud companies that they've set up. You have the daycare, the adult daycare, all of this, right? They could say, oh, there were trips back and forth here, and then bill these transportation companies that are also 95% Somali-owned,
oh
and
yeah,
nobody checks it and says, okay, well, we need to see proof that they've back and forth to these doctors' offices and they were
yeah,
actually being treated, like visit notes. Like we want, like, because they can say, like, yeah, they were here, but we want to see like the visit notes that they were being checked, that they were prescribed medicine, that they were like whatever. They're not checking any of this. So it's like a
nope.
whole loop, like you said, triple, what did you
Triple,
say?
double, quadruple,
Yeah.
quintuple thing. Like they're just
They got a whole racket over there, girl. I'm telling you, it's so
yeah,
bad. Um, the autism centers as well, 99% owned by Somalians. They open an autism center for you. They don't even need a license to open up these centers. They're just
no,
popping up all over the place. There have been inspections done. That's another thing that he said over the years, and there were violations everywhere. One daycare center, just one, had 11 violations: unsanitary conditions, broken furniture, no play areas for the kids. They never follow up though. Like, they'll give them these violations, they'll tell them that they need to fix it, and do you know how they say like it's all clear? They let the daycare send them a memo or a note or a document saying, yeah, we've cleaned up everything, and they never go back and check and make sure that they actually did.
You gotta
And
love
why
it.
they do it anyway? Because they're not even taking care of people.
Nope.
So, and you know, like, spoiler alert, it's happening everywhere. This is not the only state. I think that because the gentleman said, and I think it's true too, is like there's like a whole thing, kind of like when you think about like Canadians and stuff, it's like that nicety, like, oh, sure, everything's cool, whatever you say, you know, we're all friends and chilling, whatever. It's always kind of been that like feeling over there. It's not like New York where it's like, yeah, get that, you know, it's like Minnesota's a different breed of people. And they probably looked at it like, oh, this is juicy. We're going to just go in there. Nobody's going to say nothing. Everybody's going to, you know, let us just live our best life. And it's like ripe for the picking. You know, it's crazy, bro.
It's really wild how they've gotten away with that, because that was the first one that I had seen where it was like a kind of like a, not an adult daycare, but it was like a program to allow people that had certain disabilities to be able to live on their own. So there was this one gentleman that had schizophrenia, and he had been living in a home, and he was doing really well. And so they offered him up for this program. It's a Somali-owned business where he was put in an apartment, and he ended up dying. They didn't find out till the next day that he had died. However, they were billing for 12 hours of care at $400 and something an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And so the mother was the one that originally like blew it wide open, because she's like, how is it that they were saying, like, so technically someone was with my son all day, every day. How is it that no one found out until the following day that he had died? So it's just, and it was like, you know, so let's say they have these like an apartment building, right, where they have all these units and all these tenants. Let's say there's 30 tenants. They were, for each tenant that they had, they were billing all of them for 12 hours of care a day, $400 and something an hour, when there was no one there. And so they caught this one kid going into this apartment complex to check on them, and it was just like this 20-year-old kid, like Muhammad's nephew, like snotty nephew coming over to check on the kids, and but he's just like, maybe just knocking, you're alive, okay, bye, knocking, okay, you're alive. So they asked him, and he was like, well, he was fine yesterday. And they're like, well, you don't stay with him all day? Well, no, I checked on him and he was fine. But under their care or non-care, this gentleman who was in his, I think he was in his 40s, became severely obese, and he just died by himself. You know, he needed some kind of stimulation engagement, where before he was doing very well by himself in a group home, where he was having care and his meals monitored.
He's like chilling with people.
Like,
yeah,
just eat a bunch of junk food and stay out of our hair. And the mom was saying that she felt that he had greatly deteriorated his mood, his mental health, everything else was deteriorating. And then he just died and no one noticed. So, I mean, I think this is like, to where they say it's alleged, there's no alleged. I think as people start coming out, they start getting, you know, that bravery to speak up. We're going to find out more and more and more of how severe, because these people don't care. It's just business to them. They don't care that they neglected this guy. Oh, he's disabled anyways. He's not going to say anything. And then they die, or they get sicker, or they deteriorate more, and they don't care, because at the end of the day, they're not Muslim. They're not their kind. They're not their people. You know, what do they care? They're making money, and that's all that matters. So I think all that, you know, all that needs to be cut. All those people that benefited, anybody on that list of beneficiaries, need to be sent home. I don't care if they're here U.S. citizens or legally. I don't care. remove their citizenship and deport them, because they're all a bunch of crooks and frauds, and
That's
they
right.
need to go make their country great again. You know, if they're so
Exactly.
wonderful, they need to go build their own country.
Mhm.
But they need to pay back the money they stole from us first. And then
Yes.
if they deport it over there, then Somalia needs to return that money to us, because we made their country.
Or they could find out too.
We own their country with so much money that they stole from us. Because like
Mhm.
we're almost, the amount of money that they've stolen from us is almost the whole GDP of Somalia. So either, you know, we own Somalia now, and we're just going to round them up and make sure that they don't leave those borders anymore.
Right.
Or they need to pay us back all that money that they stole from us and still never come back.
Agreed. I'm there with you. And a lot of their statuses, if they're caught, you know, committing crimes and, you know, breaking the law, their citizenship could get revoked anyway. So, but the thing is that we still have all of these crazy corrupt judges, like that one that allowed the guy that it was like $7 million or $7 billion. It was like unanimous. The jury said that he was guilty, and then the judge threw it out. And she's like this little girl. She looks like she's 12. I'm like, this is the judge?
Yeah, I saw that.
Bro, I mean, they've been doing this for a hot minute, and that's why they didn't want Trump to get in, because they knew that they were all going to get found out.
Exactly.
But speaking of our president, he's not done.
Nope.
He's not done. So coming to you from Fox News, Iran protests prompt new Trump warning over deadly government crackdowns. President Donald Trump vowed Sunday evening that the Islamic Republic of Iran will, quote, get hit very hard if Tehran repeats the killing of protesters as it has during previous citizen-led revolts against the regime. When asked about his initial comments on protecting Iranian demonstrators during a press gaggle on board Air Force One, Trump said that, quote, we are watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States. I love when he says, I think, like if he doesn't know. He's very funny. Anti-regime protests have engulfed Iran for the last 9 days amid Trump's second threat to intervene on the side of the demonstrators in Iran. According to the U.S.-based human rights activists in Iran, HRAI, the intensity of the protests has reached at least 78 cities and 222 locations, with protesters demanding the end of the regime controlled by the 86-year-old Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei? I don't know. Whatever. The group said the regime has killed at least 20 people, including 3 children, and arrested 990 people. Mr. K, there's security forces have detained more than 40 children, HRAI noted. Iran expert Shakraya Brados, who is the CEO of Foresight Security Solutions, told Fox News Digital that, quote, Trump's warning to the Iranian regime emboldened protesters because it came from a president who has already demonstrated a willingness to confront Iran directly, most notably by ordering the killing of Qasem Soleimani. For Iranians who felt abandoned during the 2009 Green Movement under the Obama administration and later disappointed by the Biden administration's softer approach toward the regime, Trump's words were seen as credible and empowering. A U.S. military drone strike killed the former Iranian General Soleimani in Iraq on January 3rd, 2020. He died like a dog, as he said. Brados added, quote, today, many Iranians want Trump to maintain the same clarity to side opening with the Iranian people, not the regime, to make clear that repression will not be ignored or normalized. Here's a quote, the Islamic Republic is no longer a functional system. The central question now is whether U.S. policy reinforces the Iranian people's demand for genuine change or unintentionally helps parts of a collapsing regime survive. Iranian protesters asked during the 2009 protests, Obama, are you with us or against us? Then President Barack Obama sided with the Islamic Republic at the time. Go figure. He said in 2022 that he regretted his alliance with Khamenei and his regime during the Green Movement. And you know what's weird too? forgot the gentleman's name. I think I was watching a clip from CNN, and they had somebody on there that was talking about all this, and he mentioned this too, because just kind of like a reminder, that he did say that he regretted not supporting the protesters at the time. So just so you guys know, like, even though he was probably playing both sides of the field, because that's what these, loser manipulators do, he still said it. So, yeah, so on January 2nd at 3 a.m., as only Trump does, he posted a Truth Social. He said, if Iran shoots, I think he wrote shots too, which is funny. And he's probably like this. He was like, if you guys have one more time, I swear. He probably has his eyes closed. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump, which I love that little salutation at the end. It's so freaking great.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a couple of ways, I mean, you don't have to think all the time of like boots on the ground. We don't even have to think about, drones, different strikes and things like that. One attack that could be used, United States technology to bolster internet activity to allow some of these protesters to get around the regime's crackdown on like sharing information, because that also suppresses the people, because you don't know how many people you have that have the same ideas. So that's one kind of like, crack in the brick there that they could do. Sanctions is also another thing on their oil banking sanctions, which they already have a lot of them on already. Another is cyber action, target the regime on like a cyber front. Also Trump, and then when you talk about more like firepower, he mentioned he would be willing to drop more airstrikes if we get wind that Tehran is trying to rebuild its nuclear program, ballistic missile program. So that's on the table as well. I mean, who knows how they're going to, what they're thinking of, what they're going to decide. The head of Iran's parliament did say that the American base forces across the entire region will be legitimate targets if the U.S. interferes in the country, like in June when they fired at the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. So, they came out chirping, which, you expect them to.
Just a lot of flapping of the lips.
Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. But, he's gaining, like, I was looking at like some of the comments, and some people were saying like, we're, I'm happy about what he's doing. Like, thank you for your help and stuff like that. So who knows if they're bots? They could be. But I think that he's gaining a lot of the like the massive people around the country. He's gaining a lot of their support and respect, President Trump.
Yeah.
From the actions that he's taking.
I think a lot of people are sick too of what's going on with Iran. Like, I just think a lot of people are in unrest from just having dictators and tyrants running their countries. Like, I know that the women over there are probably not really going to be able to speak up much, but who wants to live like that?
Right.
Like what woman wants to live like that? I just can't foresee it. And I can't believe that all of the men are cool with what's happening over there. So, I really do hope that they are able to free themselves. And that's the key word, free themselves. Like,
right.
That it's not just like, okay, the U.S. has to interfere, because we should
like every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need to be able to fix their own situation. But the Iranian officials are someone that could be a credible threat if they were somehow able to still have nuclear capabilities that we don't know about, which wouldn't.
They're mad reckless. Yeah.
Because they don't care, and this leader that they have now, or president, or whatever the hell he is, he is clearly deranged, almost psychopathic. I don't think it would be a bad thing for him to get taken out, but I don't want us to meddle anymore in affairs that I want our country fixed first, like Tim Walz, prison,
I know.
rogue judges, prison.
Yes,
All the
like a lot of
corruption.
them need to be impeached.
Yes, like all we need to fix our own system, root out the corruption, root out the fraud,
Hmm.
fix our elections and tighten up our elections. We have so many issues that we need to fix here before we could start really delving. And also our national deficit, like that,
It
we
went
need
up
to
to
do something
38,
about that.
right? 38 trillion. Yeah. But you know what? Every time I think about that deficit, and now I'm hearing all of this like fraud and corruption, and it's funny because for a while they were allowing us to talk, not allowing us, but you know what I mean. They were just kind of like letting it fly, and even like the media was having conversations about stock trading amongst like Congress people, and you know this being kind of like something, and maybe kickbacks and all this other kind of stuff. But it's like, yeah, we'll let you talk about that over here, and we'll be behind you talking about that, but just don't look over here though. Don't
Yeah,
look over there,
yeah,
because over there I think is where I think a huge chunk. Like I'm not even I mean I'm talking a little out of my you know what right now, but I think a huge chunk is from all of this like fraud from the insurance companies.
yeah,
I
that's
think I think
true.
it's a really a lot of our debt is from that.
Yeah. Oh, especially, after, Obamacare and everything, that
Hmm.
I think that and the subsidies, these programs were meant to be temporary. They weren't meant to be forever, and they're just not sustainable. So just because you throw money at something doesn't make it successful.
Right.
It doesn't make it, it's,
I mean, look at
it's,
Hunter Biden. He had mad money being thrown at him his whole life. It doesn't always work out.
and he still
He,
failed at the end.
yeah.
And he's saying that we can't let all these unvetted just rando illegals come into the country, and it's just like, bruh,
I know, like,
you're kidding, right?
right, like, please don't tell me he's gonna try and run for president someday, bro, because like he's trying to like get support from everybody.
No, this homie, he's on a different level of a crack now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of
The
like
Parmesan.
you're coming off of a lifelong binge, and you're like starting to see reality.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Parmesan, snorting Parmesan hits different.
Right. Right. Too many sprinkles. Yeah.
Maybe it fixed him, who knows? But like, it's wild. It really is wild to me that like we're here, we're at this, just whatever. But we
No.
need to fix a lot of shit before we start like messing around with
No, I agree.
other
I
countries.
agree. I agree. I agree. But I also though I do think that a lot of this stuff is tied in. Because if you
Yeah,
think about all, like Russia, Iran, China, what happened in Venezuela, probably the same thing kind of thing. They're infiltrating like Cuba and all these other places. Like it's a lot of it is connected. Um, but they have to be really strategic about it too. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But
absolutely.
we got an attempted break-in or breaking down of our Vice President JD Vance's home from another one with crazy eyes. You want to take this one?
Oh, yeah, I'll take this one. Hold on. Let me go back here. Just give me
Why
one
do they
sec.
all look like that? I mean,
I
seriously, at
don't
this point, it's
know.
like, why? Or maybe they're just like they're shocked that they got caught. Maybe that's like the shock that I got caught. Oh, the
It could
SSRIs,
be.
maybe.
So, let's see. Okay, well, my article comes up a little bit different than yours, but still, the suspect accused of breaking windows at JD Vance's home facing federal charges. So it might have been updated by the whatever, the
WLW.
WLWT5. So basically, that's what, NBC, CBS, whatever.
That's the
Um,
news in Cincinnati. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So a man has been taken into custody by Cincinnati police after officers and Secret Service agents responded to the Cincinnati home of Vice President JD Vance overnight. So WLWT's cameras captured what appears to be damage to the windows of the home. Officers were on the scene in the East Walnut Hills area for several hours, going in and out of the house. Oh, let's see. The Secret Service confirmed to WLWT that a man has been taken into custody by Cincinnati police after he was detained by Secret Service personnel. Officials say the man has been arrested for causing property damage, including breaking windows on the exterior of a personal residence associated with the vice president. The agency says it happened shortly after midnight, early Monday morning. Secret Service is coordinating with CPD and the U.S. Attorney's Office. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, William DeFore, 26, DeFore.
When I first saw that, I read William Defoe, and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, bro, this was a crazy weekend. Sorry, go ahead.
It's like William de Loser, DeFoot, whatever. 26 is facing federal charges in connection with the incident. I mean, no shit. In a statement of facts, DeFore is accused of being seen by a Secret Service agent and on security footage walking onto the property without permission and damaging 4 windows as well as a vehicle. He's been charged with criminal damaging, endangering, obstructing official business, and criminal trespass, all misdemeanors, as well as 1 count of vandalism, a 5th-degree felony. I don't know why criminal damaging. Why are they all misdemeanors? Dude, it's the vice president. That should just whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true.
Federally, okay, wait. Okay, federally, DeFore has been charged with damaging government property, engaging in physical violence against any person or property in a restricted building or grounds, and assaulting, resisting, or impeding federal officers. Vance was in Cincinnati for the last week. He left Sunday afternoon. I appreciate everyone's well wishes about the attack on our home. As far as I can tell, a crazy person tried to break in by hammering the windows. I'm grateful to the Secret Service and the Cincinnati police for responding quickly. We weren't even home as we had returned already to DC. One request to the media: we try to protect our kids as much as possible from the realities of this life of public service. In that light, I am skeptical of the news value of plastering images of our home with holes in the windows, Vance said in a statement posted to X. I mean,
Families off limits.
Yeah. They're valued. Wait, let's see. Each window is valued at more than $28,000. That can't be right. Damage to the enhanced security assets on each window. Yeah, owned by the federal government, valued at more than $28,000.
So how is that still a misdemeanor? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
higher?
I mean that's almost you could say that's grand theft auto.
Yeah, like grand.
Like $28,000. That's a car. The cost of a car. Like, and
Yeah,
it's enhanced security assets. Yeah, no, I mean that's weird. And they really shouldn't be showing pictures of his home. Maybe
and I'm over
close
here
up
like,
the
why do you
windows.
know where he lives?
Yeah. How the hell did he find out where? Like, how did this weird ass looking, like crazy eyed? He looks like a dweeb.
Like bologna sandwiches.
He just
Even
looks
though I
like the
love
bologna.
But
He just looks like the bologna. He doesn't even look like the sandwich. Obviously, he's not the whole sandwich.
no,
But
he's
how-
definitely a few breads short of a sandwich. For sure.
How,
Bro.
how did this dipshit know? Like,
So, and then you want to know what else too? Okay, so this is somebody was talking, said that he lives with his mom and dad. He was diagnosed schizophrenic. DeFore had 2 previous arrests in Hamilton County. One was in 2023, criminal trespassing on UC Health Psychiatric Emergency Services property. Was found non-competent to stand trial. He refused to talk about his condition, and the charges were dismissed. And then in 2024, vandalism at Hyde Park business, he pleaded guilty, but he was granted treatment in lieu of conviction. No consequences. So of course he upped his game. Like you know, like if you watch like true crime stories and you hear like about serial killers and stuff, they start out little, when they're kids, they're probably like trying to like kill the neighborhood cat, and then they don't get in trouble, and then they work their way up, and it gets like more and more crazy. It's going to happen with every kind of like violent action from somebody. If you do a little, you get off.
Yeah.
You do a little
Yeah,
more,
that's true.
you get off. You do, and then now you're attacking the vice president's home.
I mean, wow. Yeah, and the thing I heard too is that he's
Oh, we got something here. Yeah.
I heard that he's a transformer.
I heard that too. I didn't really like look into that a lot, but yeah, I see the post
Oh,
here.
see? Yeah.
Mhm.
He's a
He
transformer.
goes by Julia online. Julia Gulia. And he's a Democrat donor and voter. Oh,
Julia, why would you do this, Julia?
transgender ideology preys on the mentally ill who are, yeah, they do though, and they're in these chat rooms, and that's another thing that they had to look into is that, what is that, 754 764 network, and all of those like corrupt networks that are like infiltrating, like, what is it, Roblox and all this other stuff, and just having these conversations and indoctrinating all these kids and stuff. Get your kids off of these things. I wish we can do what Australia did and ban kids under 16 from social media, because
yes, I agree.
Because when they did that, I was like, yes.
Look at Funk saying he looks like a Julia. Don't lie to him, Funk. Don't encourage him.
I know. Stop enabling.
Yes, he does not look like a Julia.
A nut trespassing at a nut house? How? Right. A meatloaf sandwiches roll. Oh, that sounds good. He thought it was the Pelosi house. Yeah, so who knows? I don't know. Because didn't it used to be and I didn't have time to like look this up because I was thinking of like this question. I didn't look it up, but didn't it used to be like when they had asylums and stuff, like if they found that you were insane and you couldn't stand trial, you were insane, whatever it is that you committed, you don't go to jail, you get committed to the asylum. Then all the asylums were closed down. So now what they do, they say, okay, you're insane, so here you go back out on the street.
Oh, they give you treatment for a little bit. You go and you
Big Pharma.
You get to stay there for 6 months, and you get group therapy and singing sessions and shit. And then, hey, now you're perfectly fine to go out into society. And a lot of these people commit like heinous murders when they get back out, which is a lot of what we're seeing now.
Society, you're not going to be in that lifestyle. Everybody's like catering to you all day, and you're just doing arts and crafts and finger painting. Like, you go out into the real world again, and then you're going to be like, why isn't everybody chilling and finger painting and hugging each other? I don't like this. I don't like it, and I'm going to also, you know how much I don't like it.
When they're institutionalized, they are given their medications. Like, they make sure that they're taking their medications, and when they're out in society by themselves, there's no one guaranteeing that they're taking their medications. A lot of times that's what happens. They stop taking their medications. Oh, I feel fine, I don't need this. They stop taking them, and then they go psycho again. So I just think if someone does something so heinous, they should just never see the light of day. It's only fair to the rest of us, the community, rather that, like I was telling you before, just lobotomize them, like easy peasy. Maybe they might have some severe brain damage, but it's not. They're already used to that. They already have severe brain damage, and maybe they just might be sitting there like drooling and happy forever, that, but they're not a threat to society anymore. So
yeah. I mean, if you have that that kind of thought, like even if you're crazy, like it's like if I go a little too far, I'm gonna get locked away. So maybe it might appeal to some people that still have, a few working, links up there and say, well, I can't go this nuts, and then the ones who can't regulate that, they just get, put away. But yeah, we're going to need to open asylums again. It's just so clear to me that needs to happen. And that's just going to be another hurdle, because when that happens, it's going to be like all the protesters and the disabled people are going to be walking the streets, and they're going to say like it's being disabled phobia or something like that. I don't know what the word they're going to use, but it's just going to be another thing that they're going to say that about. But it really needs to happen. Like
Mhm.
and these medications, they don't really work like they're supposed to for people. They don't. Um, not, a lot of the times they create more problems. And like you even see the commercials on TV, and it's like for SSRIs or like things that are supposed to help you with anxiety and depression, and it says like side effects or thoughts of unaliving, and I'm just like, how? That's like taking an Imodium and it's like your side effect is you get diarrhea. It's like how how does that make sense? But
Very counterproductive.
exactly. And talking about a fancy cocktail that might be bad for your health, the New York Post came out with a really interesting story. Doc warns that dangerous ingredient in fancy cocktails can cause your stomach to explode. Deadly drinks? Question mark. Experts warn that some showy looking cocktails have serious consequences. Think more Undertaker than Hangover. In fact, there are multiple examples of this key ingredient sending people to the hospital. If you've ever seen a fancy drink brimming with what looks like smoke or fog, I've seen a couple of these too, where they're like showing like the guy putting it together, and it's like all fancy, and it's super expensive too. It likely contains liquid nitrogen gas super cold into a liquid. It is very cold and has to be held in special containers because it actually boils at room temperature. It can cause frostbite when in contact with skin tissue. It boils at room temperature. So it's boiling in your body? ER doctor and toxicologist Dr. Josh Trebek explained via X. While liquid nitrogen is routinely added to drinks to create a quote smoking effect, its use in this way requires no training or regulation, and many consumers are unaware of the dangers, including but not limited to stomach perforation and death. Some people think it's super cool to put liquid nitrogen into a beverage and watch the fog that comes out of the drink so you can take a pic for your social media. But not everyone is aware of the risks that come with drinking a drink made with liquid nitrogen, said Trebek. Imbibers, I don't know what that word is, are supposed to wait for the smoke to completely evaporate before drinking. But servers and bartenders often skip this crucial instruction because people want to take the picture. If the drink still has liquid nitrogen while you drink it, it can expand in your stomach when it turns into a gas. So if it's in your stomach, as you can see in this like picture here, it can expand and cause your stomach to explode, warned Trebek. Without immediate surgery, the massive release of gas into the, can you imagine the pain too? Like if you ever had like those bad gas pain, oh my gosh. Without immediate surgery, the massive release of gas into the peritoneal cavity causes the abdomen to distend, crushing other organs and causing respiratory failure. Perfect. This sudden expansion can also cause internal bleeding, while the extreme cold, approximately minus 319 Fahrenheit degrees, can freeze tissues, exacerbating the damage. Trebek's post includes an X-ray photo taken of an 18-year-old patient who was admitted to the ER after drinking an alcoholic drink containing liquid nitrogen. The details of her injury were previously published in a case report from Royal Lancaster Infirmary in Lancaster, UK. Immediately after downing her drink, the patient reported severe abdominal pain and shortness of breath. Further examination, including a CT scan, revealed that she had stomach perforation. Doctors performed emergency surgery to address the belly breach. However, due to the necrotic tissue surrounding the site, the surgical team could not safely close the tear and had to resort to a total gastrectomy. Oh my gosh. Removing part of the patient's stomach and reconnecting the digestive tract to the esophagus. This case is one of many that find smoking drinks lead to deadly effects. Just last month, a Moscow man's stomach was torn apart by liquid nitrogen cocktail consumed during a corporate Christmas party. Several years ago, trendy nitrogen dips cereal dubbed Dragon's Breath inspired similar warnings. Yeah, yeah, wow. I have a headache.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I was telling Brian before the show, like before you got in, that we were just like looking at this, and I was just like, I remember seeing videos of girls taking like the shots with the fire, remember like fireball shots, and it's like it has like the fire on top. And this one girl, she took the shot and it like spilled down her face, and it was just all like a fire trail down her body. I'm like, why? why do we need to have things on fire? Why do they have to be smoky? Like, why are we 5? Like, why do we have to do this? And it's all so dangerous. This is insane. This is actually really good to tell people, because
Yeah, that's not
smoke fire. Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, that's dangerous. But like this,
totally worth it for the gram. No, it's
Right.
not worth it. Not.
I mean,
Don't
remember
do
people
it.
were like train surfing just so they can post that. I mean, I won't do that again. Yeah, Doug, don't do that again. Hardy said, so cold it's hot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna burn you. It might burn on the way in and out.
Yeah.
Imagine you're blowing that out and it's just a trail of fire out of your like cornhole. It's like,
Girl. No. I'm so glad I'm over the partying scene, because this is just too much. Like,
for the boys, that's the new definition of fireballs.
yeah.
Okay.
No. No. No, don't. Just don't do this. Just like a shot of Jose Cuervo and maybe a few Coronas with some lime. That sounds actually really good.
Yeah.
And you're good. Drink responsibly.
Yes.
But all right, so I know we're over time, but listen, we couldn't wait to get back and talk with you guys, so we went a little over today. But don't think that we forgot, because it's captioned this time, and I'm ready. I've been meaning.
Yes.
I couldn't wait for this. Bump us, Brian. Give us the bump. Yeah. So this is, if you're new here, this is the time of the show where we play everyone's favorite game. It's called Caption This, and we got our AI generated photo that Brian just put there up on the screen, and we ask you guys, the audience, to participate. Give us a funny caption, and the funniest caption will win at the end. Biddy. I'm like reading the thing so I can remember what to say. D and I will vote on the funniest one. So what does this look like? Is it like, what is it? Producer always has a veto. So there's that. What has he got there? He got a Domino's pizza. He looks pretty
This definitely
too, actually. He's got the whole Masterpiece Theater scarf around his neck. Looks very dapper. He's got maybe like a chat room on the screen and 2 people fighting.
He's got some nice eyebrows.
He does. He's very handsome.
Nice little stash.
Mm-hmm. What was like those was it like from the 1960s, 70s or whatever, where it was like those kind of drawings? Was it like pinup? Or it's normally like with girls, but
No,
it's not pinup, it's something else.
I'm not sure, but I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember what it's called.
Dougie said Brian's New Year body. Yeah. Brian's chuckling in our ears. Rick says a jury member in NYC before Maduro's trial. What?
So not. That's probably going to be a liberal.
Bro, I'm so pissed off though that like it's going to the Southern District of New York. I'm like, really? I hope they don't screw it up.
Well, I guess that's where they indicted him, so it has to go back to where the in I guess all that happened.
The French Batcave. Yes, good. I like that one because he's got the scarf. He is giving off like Clark Kent vibes, right? A little bit. That's good.
Yeah, I would say so.
Damn, I got nothing.
I don't think I got nothing either. Like he looks very dapper. That's all I could think of. Like
He does. He looks like he smells like Stetson. Or like,
but I think it's like the red wall kind of throws it off, like the brick wall, and then the pizza,
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I guess he would be like in his back cave. Is that the basement? Is he in a basement?
Yeah, he's probably in a basement. He's got way too many wires behind that one screen.
Yeah. I mean, he's got like a whole wire dangling like right by his head too.
Oh, yeah. I
Could
thought that
it
was a
be?
crack, but I think it's a wire.
Yeah, I thought it was a crack too at first, but it's going through the bricks. Oh.
The basement comment is closer to the wind condition, but we don't have an instant wind condition tonight, but it could be part of the prompt. All right. Haha, Le Batman. That's great. Haha, Le Batman.
I mean, okay, hear me out.
What?
What if this is like the future Batman? Where Batman no longer has to fight crime in the streets. He just has to do it from the basement.
Cyber hero.
Cyber heroes. Hell yeah. So that would basically be us. We're all Batman.
Yeah, I'm Batman. Yes, I am Batman. I'm Batman. Haha, Le Batman, that was fun.
That's like the side secret layer, the side piece layer.
It's got layers. My layer got layers. Hardy says Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. That's probably my favorite. Wayne.
That is good.
Hey. Bruce Wayne.
My cheek hurts. That's where you go when your main secret layer gets infiltrated. That's the layer within the layer.
Yeah.
Fighting chat crime. Oh, that's good too. Oh my god. All right. So yeah, Hardy's got my funny bone going crazy right now though.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite one.
I think so. I don't know if that's what he meant it as, but that's how I read it. Bruce Wayne. Oh my god, they would totally do that, wouldn't they? They're gonna destroy Bruce Wayne, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they destroyed Superman in the last one. I did not like that new. The best part of that whole thing was the dog.
Oh, is it like what is it? Super rough, super dog?
Okay, hey, ladies, I was gonna stay out of this tonight, but the Bruce Wayne, I'm gonna exercise the producer veto. That one wins. And I'll
I agree.
I agree.
No, I agree. Congratulations, Hardy, Bruce Wayne. And it's funny too, Hardy, because I seen you in the beginning and I forgot to mention it, that you were like, can we start with caption this? You were like ready to go tonight. So I'm glad you won. That's awesome. And thank you guys for all the funny stuff, man. You know, this is like the most beautiful thing that Brian brought to Sunset Rants is this caption this, that, you know, we used to play this game in the other show that we had. And I'm so happy that he brought it here, because after talking about all this stuff, it's just so crazy. It's like, it's good to end on a note where you're just laughing, because then again, like, what are we fighting for? What are we holding on to America and our values and all this stuff for if we can't enjoy life? Like, you know, if you're not enjoying it, it's just going to pass you right by. If we're always just like being so pissed off about everything that's going on, and we can, if we really sit here and listen to this all day long. So it's good. It's really good. And I'm glad that you guys all participate. But thank you so much, Dee, for coming on with me. I was so excited when they were like, Dee's joining you tonight. I'm like, what? I was so happy.
Yeah, I took a little hiatus, but I'm back. So this is going to be great.
Absolutely. And of course, as you guys know, you can go to riseinmiddleamerica.com. That's our beautiful website. You can see all of our shows there, anything up and coming. You can get all our social links there. You can join the Discord if you want to hang out with us. We're in there chilling. And you can also use that if you want to submit any caption this photos that might end up on the show. So that would be really cool. And if you want to follow the show, you can follow it at @therealroma_AK. You can follow me on X if you like. I'm on there here and there, just posting, whatever I feel like. You can use that Q&R code to get to the website as well. But yeah, you can follow me on X, and that's Elizabeth8213A, Cynical Latina, @Cynical Latina on X, and Truth Social. I'm on Truth Social as well if you want to join me there, but I'm kind of never on there. So
yeah.
But yeah, I love you guys so much. Welcome back, Sunset Rants, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m., same place. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Love you. Just gonna dance on out. Hold on.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.